We're trying to make a baby, so...
Oh, I'm chilled.
So yeah, just a lot freakier than before. And
It's amazing.
Just when you think it couldn't get kinkier.
Oh my God.
Now I can say that with my mother-in-law watching.
That's so
I'm married.
beautiful. Oh, Jax, this is the best
sweating.
news.
We'll see.
Best news.
We shall see.
I'm
Hey, who
here
knows?
for you.
I'm Allison Hagendorf. America, this is the next. Hello, Times Square. Welcome to X Games Aspen. I'm Allison Hagendorf. I'm the live announcer of the B&E. Welcome to Rock This with Allison Hagendorf.
Yeah, this is Allison Hagendorf.
Hello, my fellow music lovers, and welcome to the Allison Hagendorf Show. Hello, my fellow music lovers, and welcome to the Allison Hagendorf Show. This is where we celebrate the universal love of music and the rock and roll spirit that lives in each of us. I'm so glad you're here. We are coming to you from DWP Studios in Los Angeles, and I want to give a shout out to our presenting sponsor, Cloudwater, and our friends at Karma Sauce. These are quality products I love, and they help make this show possible along with you. Your support means the world to me. Thank you. My guest today is JAX. JAX is the ultimate TikTok music success story. She's a true talent who has been writing and performing her entire life, and a few of her videos took off on TikTok, and finally she had the platform she needed to showcase her unparalleled wit, lyrical genius, and vocal prowess. JAX is one of a kind, and we became fast friends the last time she was on the show, and I just had to have her back. Her debut album, Dear Joe, is out now, and we'll be diving into the new music, how it signified a complete purge in her life, the darkness she has faced along with her success, her awesome wedding last year, which I was lucky enough to attend, and what's next for her. We'll be right back with JAX joining me right here in the studio. One thing about me is that I work hard and play hard, and this functionally fun box from Cloudwater helps me do that. These are my people. Listen to what it says inside. The world would be a better place if fun people lived forever. Yes, I subscribe to this. I feel seen. Inside, we have organic caffeine, we have daily defense, immunity, and CBD, which I imbibe every single afternoon. I think you'll enjoy this. Go to cloudwaterbrands.com, use my code Allison30 for 30% off, and let me know what you think. Cheers. As you know, I care so much about the music community, and I wanted to share a way for artists and content creators to get your videos seen by more people. Advertising.me is one of the leading digital marketing boutique companies. They promoted over 50,000 songs, artists, and creators, and they specialize in YouTube promotions. With algorithms always changing, they are in direct contact with YouTube teams to get ahead of the ever-evolving landscape. They use targeted advertising, curated playlists, and other YouTube strategies to connect your music and content with the right audience based on a deep understanding of your fans. No bots, only real views, fans, engagement, and subscribers. For all artists, any budget, you can unlock YouTube starting at just $100. Go to advertising.me and use my code Allison20 for 20% off your first campaign. My guest today has been named the ultimate TikTok music success story by Variety and one of pop's funniest new stars by Grammy.com, and I agree with both of these nods. Her songs have over 1.2 billion streams. She has amassed over 14 million followers on TikTok. Her song Victoria's Secret has gone platinum. Her debut album Dear Joe is out now. And she and I both named Primal Fear as our favorite movie. JAX, welcome back to the show.
Hi. Brought to you by Cloud Daily Defense.
Cloudwater.
Cloudwater.
Love it.
Hi, that was a cool intro.
Was it?
I want it every morning.
I'm gonna give you this video. I also wanted to point out there is a little Easter egg in here. Do you see the Primal Fear reference for us?
Oh my gosh, you were so cute.
For everyone, the last time JAX was on the show, I asked her favorite movie was, and we really became instant best friends when we both said Primal Fear. We just love psychological thrillers. Ed Norton,
That's
remember?
the best one.
It was the best one.
It's the best one by far.
I know.
And it's like the hottest era.
Oh, it's the
Ed
best.
Norton's so hot in it, and it's like, it's just the best
We
ending.
both recommend.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 recommend.
So
Yeah.
I was thinking about the last time I saw you, and I realized that I didn't see you because you and Brave were like deathly ill.
Yeah. Oh.
And Brian and I came over to drop off some soup and
was
a
so
belated
nice.
wedding present. And I go to the door and Brave like cracks it open. It was like a scene from Outbreak. It was giving quarantine. And like, he's like,
she's sleeping and I can't come out. And I'm like, we were holding a baby. I'm like handing the baby to Brian.
Was there.
So I'm like, here's the soup on the porch and here's your gift. Bye. And then you texted me later like, oh my God, there was a baby.
I'm so upset like that I missed the baby. I mean, I didn't want to get your baby sick, but that soup was so good.
Right?
Like so good. And you guys are so freaking sweet. Like Jesse found out we were sick and came by with like the cutest little motherly care.
It was very maternal. Sorry.
It helped.
You're going to get it. You're
really
gonna
helped.
Get it.
My mom was like, what? Someone did it first.
Oh, you know, it's the New York mom thing.
Yeah, there it is.
So the last time you were on the show, we kind of really did a deep dive on your whole life up until that point. But I feel like so much has happened in your life since then.
Yeah.
It is like we have a lot to catch up on.
It's crazy. Yeah, so much.
Let's start by talking about Dear Joe, which is your debut album that you have been working towards your entire life. It's just such an accomplishment. Like, how do you feel now having this out?
I'm just so happy that this album is officially released because, you know, it's been many, many years. I signed with Atlantic like 4 years ago, and I've been like, please let me put an album out. And I've probably gone through like 3 albums worth of music in different eras, and then it kind of took last year and our experiences last year and going off the grid for our honeymoon for a little while and decompressing in and out of literally psychosis, I think, just a really, really brutal mental health year. And we got married.
Yes.
Like all in the same year. And it was like just the height of everything. We saw a lot and we were like, I need to step back. And I wanted to make a body of work that had addressed, you know, my personal like sexual trauma, that addressed my fears for Chelsea, the kid I babysit, with the surrounding weirdness of Hollywood.
Yep.
Some best friend heartbreak, some of my romance with my husband, some Victoria's Secret on it. So like, and then in between, I literally just wrote the dumbest little interludes every other song, and
they're anything but dumb. They're the most clever. Most clever.
I just had like I realized as I was in a creative space finally, after being so numb for so many months, that I was like, I have so many weird shower thoughts, and I just want to like get them out on paper, and they're not worthy of like full songs. So being parts of full songs and concepts. So I just wanted to, you know, a lot of people have discovered my material and my music on TikTok, and it's all really quick, short form clips. So I was like, you know what, like, it's a combination of like, you know, my experience in Hollywood, purging all my friends, and then this kind of kicking back to like the goofy side of my brain. So.
Right. I love it because it shows the full spectrum of you, you know?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the opening song, Jelly Bean Purge. And like you said, this has been, it's almost signifies this album, the personal and professional purge that you've done. I know it's a lot to unpack here, but I would like to learn more about that because so much of that, what you experience, is poured into this album.
Yeah, sure. You know, I really attribute it to, I kind of figured that growing up in music and never really getting the bite, you know, and never really having any kind of attention on what I was doing. And this constant grind and hustle was like the cutthroat part of the business, but I had never really imagined a world where there was success and attention and new people coming in and kind of surrounding at all times. And even when you kind of fall off and hit a rock bottom or come back, the constants, there's different groups of people surrounding you all the time.
Yeah.
And I think we just had a really manipulative, bloodthirsty year when it came to people we thought were close friends, people we trusted that were definitely not people to be trusted around young people, like the industry like side of things that was just so soul-sucking. I had fired pretty much everybody coming off of the tour last year, the summer tour we did last year. We discovered like everybody that we thought we were kind of super close with was part of some like weird club, one or another.
Like had an agenda.
Yeah, and also just they were in weird clubs.
Actual clubs.
Yeah, with agendas. Like we realized, you know, we'd be part of a project and we realized, you know, that it was in the making months prior, and it felt impromptu and organic, but it wasn't authentic. It wasn't organic. It was all like very much planned to get us in certain situations. We started getting hyper paranoid, and honestly, I figured by this time, this year, I'd be like, oh, I was so paranoid and in psychosis at that point. But I know I don't really feel like I was. I feel like
it was actually validated.
Pretty. Yeah, there's a lot of like hard truths we had to learn, but right now we're super duper happy. I needed to let it all out. I was sitting on the couch eating jelly beans, like a bag of jelly beans, like literally.
By the way, I like black jelly beans.
I hate the black licorice.
Who likes black jelly beans? I actually would want to know, because you are my people, but like, they're so polarizing, and mostly no one likes them, but I love them. What does that say about me?
You like black licorice? Yeah. Okay, like maybe?
Not as much.
Whoa.
They're kind of two different things.
Do you like those, what are those cookies that you dip, biscottis?
No.
Right? Maybe that, I don't know why you like them.
I think it's just black jelly beans. I'm just like, I just don't discriminate jelly beans, I guess. I like them all.
I like the Coca-Cola one, and I thought it was Coca-Cola.
Oh, I see.
And that's literally the verbatim first line of the album.
Got it.
And I was like, I told my husband, I'm like, dude, when we get back from, we literally went off the grid to Antarctica. Like, we cut out the world for a long time. Even prior.
What was that like?
Awesome.
And how long were you there for?
We were there for like a little over 2 weeks, but we had been off the grid since the wedding.
That's incredible.
Truly. I know, and I actually even cut about 100 people off of the wedding guest list. Like,
wow.
It was really crazy.
I get it.
Like it's like longtime friends and longtime colleagues and employees. And
so do you think it's because you started to see fame and success that they showed their true colors? Like, what was the shift?
Yeah, a little bit. I think we just kind of saw a lot of people's like real intentions. And I've noticed that in this business, people will surround you in vulnerable moments. So we were saying yes to too many things in a burnout.
I see.
So when we were super weak and tired and vulnerable and like just not emotionally there, strong, you know, and that's when people the bad ones kind of strike. Wow. So we were surrounded by people taking advantage of us financially, just emotionally, all verbally. Like it was a ton of abuse, and it was so important to have that year, because we're really happy right now.
Because you learn a lot. We learn
so much. We're surrounded. We're only like surrounding ourselves. We're treading carefully, obviously, and keeping everybody at arm's length. But you know, now I'm married, and it's my first feeling of like family planning and trying to start a unit and making sure that my unit's protected, like this weird little nesting thing.
It's beautiful.
I'm doing, you know?
It's beautiful.
Him too, and it's cool. And then something like, you know, I love being an older sister figure for Chelsea, because she was thrown into the mix even harder than I was, right? Because she's just a normal kid, and she didn't want any of this. So it's it had been a traumatic mental health year or two for her as well. So we were kind of walking hand in hand with that, and just the kind of parties and scenes that I mean, you know, it's not anything that people are, the conspiracies and all the things that people kind of presume Hollywood is, it is weird. Yeah. It is a really weird city. Everyone's a transplant that comes in for this, you know, ultimately a superficial concept of like fame, you know, and I'm gonna be a star. And when you just have a city full of that thing, and people being vulnerable, and and you can't trust necessarily one guy or the next, because everybody has a business mindset. Yeah. It could go in a really dark direction, but there are good apples out there.
And also, like, I think being from New York though, because New York is such a grind and such a hustle, but everyone's more transparent.
Yeah. It's
everyone's just sort of more like, you know, upfront. Yeah. And I have found that my New York, you know, energy has served me well in LA, and it is about navigating. Yeah. It is about navigating and keeping the great ones close.
Yes. There is, I always appreciate just a completely honest human being.
Yes.
You can kind of sniff it out, I guess, in a way. I just really always have high hopes in people. Like I love to connect to them.
Yeah, so do I. We're lovers. We're lovers. Yes, I know.
And which is not the best human to be in a business like this, but we learned the easy ways and the hard ways. We're so grateful, like, that we have a roof over our heads, and that, you know, we're more comfortable than we were in our one-bedroom apartment now. Like, we can make money doing music. You know, who knows what the future holds with whatever direction we take, maybe we'll just be, you know, contract free and toxicity free.
Yeah, I know. That's the goal for all of us, by the way. That's all of our goals. I love that in the album, the Adam Sandler interlude, which addresses the Holly weird and all of that. Why is Adam Sandler like this beacon of light for you? I love this.
I'm just such a creep for Adam Sandler. Every time there's an Adam Sandler meme, it's just like my background on my phone. Like, I met him once. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. We were at a Joe Bro concert.
Okay.
And I was there with the bonus Jonas, Frankie. And we were hanging out, and then I get a tap on my shoulder, and I turn around, and I'm like, ah!
Oh my God.
But just frozen. And he's like, hey, can I take a picture of you and my daughter? And I was like, you want to take a picture of me right now? And I was like, of course, anything you ever, sure. What else do you want? Like, took a photo, and that was that. And then the obsession obviously grew even stronger, but I have harassed the crap out of him at this point. I think I'm probably scaring him a little bit. So
Have you been in contact?
No.
No. I feel like he's like, my Betty White is your Adam Sandler. Oh, R.I.P. R.I.P. But I love Betty. A friend of mine just got me the Chia Pet Betty White.
They have that?
Oh, well, unfortunately hasn't started like sprouting yet, but I will keep you posted on that.
Betty?
I actually put saran wrap over her head. It said to do that for the initial days, but so far, and I have a green thumb, so I'm a little upset about this, but I will keep you all posted on my Chia Pet.
Wait, do you have a picture of this?
I actually have it on my phone. I do. Brian, should we pull it up? I also want to give Brian a shout out, who is from Los Angeles.
Brian.
And is a real solid dude.
Nice. I don't trust you yet, but.
Shout out, Brian.
Brian.
So we talked about this whole year. I want to understand more of the songwriting process, because you've had to process this whole year, and it feels like this album, it's almost a form of catharsis, you know? Tell me about the actual songwriting process.
So,
or is it different per song?
My general songwriting process is all over the place. Like, I went many years as a songwriter for other artists to pay the bills out here, and had session dated, they call it, where you just kind of hop around, maybe 2 studios a day, meeting different people. It's really...
It's speed dating.
It's hard too, because like the process is a vulnerable thing. So like, you don't know someone, and then you're like, okay, let's go and just be naked, pretty much, you know? And this one, I obviously took a different direction, and I just hit up one of my friends, and I was like, hey, wait, you know Mark? I think, yeah. So I hit up Mark, and I was like, so want to make an album, and just like, would you be down to just do this in our house, like from our bedroom?
That's amazing.
So we just like took the bed out and like put a microphone. I mean, it was really hard later in mixing, because you just hear all these like noises in the freeway and whatever, but we just did it pretty much all from the house. We had Chelsea come over, record. We got a bunch of funky instruments, like our friend Jesse came in with kids' pianos and like ukuleles.
I would like to be involved next time. I'm amazing at percussion and shakers.
Oh,
I'm like such a good shaker.
That's huge.
Yeah,
because,
no,
like,
I really am. Yeah.
I'm so bad at that.
Okay.
And I could never pull it off. And
I'd like to be involved.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
We could always remaster it.
Okay.
It's Allie's version.
I have an infamous lemon shaker. It's actually, that's it right there. See the lemon shaker?
I love those like real looking lemon things.
I bring it to every festival. It's gone around the world. It's a thing. I was on Bottle Rock's main stage. I was.
Whoa.
With Alice Merton. I did No Roots with her.
What?
I was mic'd up.
No way.
Yeah, I'll show you the video.
And you had to, that's a lot of pressure.
It was a lot of pressure. I didn't know I was being mic'd up. I thought she was like inviting me, like, oh, you should come on. I heard you're good at this.
Yeah.
You put a mic. I had a mic.
Wait, so you're like, no joke. You're...
Yeah, serious. Serious lemon shaker.
Okay. Yeah. Next time.
Thank you.
Maybe I'll have you just come in and do a TikTok.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Done.
Just how you shake a lemon real good.
I do. I do.
Okay, cool.
Okay, noted. Noted.
It's on camera.
Sorry, I interrupted. So you brought in the ukulele, the piano.
We just had fun with it. We drank some whiskey. We made hot toddies. That's like our thing. I cried a lot.
Yeah,
Most of it, Mark's like really cool. And my friend Wayne Wilkins too, who I've been friends with forever. We did Like My Father together, Stupid Cupid together. Mark basically let me just have full creative freedom. So I was like, I have just so much to say, and it's going to come out real sloppy, but I need help structuring it, and I need people to reel me in, and I need a great producer and great ears and musicians around me, and I don't want to see anyone
Yeah.
And I really love you guys. So like, would you be down to just do this alone and just lock the doors and not let anyone inside and just do it? So yeah, I like wrote about my dad, like, and I've had this like, this dread and this cloud of fear over me for the last year or two about my dad getting older and just feeling it really hard for the first time as a young adult, like noticing those little things where he's not as like, you know, like I realized that a lot of other people did too now, but I was just really emotional when I wrote it.
And watching that video of you with him in the car, first of all, it's my favorite song on the album.
Thank you.
It's so special.
Thank you.
I sent it to my sister, and she texts me back, bawling in the car. For someone, I just want to tell you something. For someone to be able to make someone cry upon a first listen, you know what I mean? Not like because it has nostalgia, not because it reminds you of something. A first listen, crying song speaks volumes about your lyrical and vocal prowess combination.
Oh man.
So I think like what's really special about you is from a vocal perspective, your range, but also your unbelievable control. You're able to whisper intimately, but then you can belt out like you're in a Broadway musical, but then you can rock out too. Like you have like the full spectrum, and then the lyrics.
Oh man, thank you.
No, you're just, you have a power.
Those are like all my inspirations. I like
you have a
power.
You're a powerful storyteller. You're really, and I know that you love Billy Joel, and I see that because he's such an amazing storyteller.
I love him.
But you have that power. It's a superpower.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's definitely like, I always thought writing was a really great tool. I loved writing growing up. And like, I always freak out when I could find a soulmate writer around me because I'm like, oh wow, you love it the way I do, because words are so powerful and they're also dangerous. So you have to be careful. Like we've, even just, I freaked out a little bit when I wrote the song because I showed it to one of my all-time favorite songwriters, and she started crying.
Who was it? Can you share?
Her name was Hillary. Hillary Lindsay, and I was in a session with her and Hardy, and I was like geeking out a little bit, but she listened to it and she cried, and I was like starting to get nervous that it was gonna be kind of a buzzkill, like it was like making people really sad, and that it was maybe not worth putting on a body of work. That I don't want people to be sad, but I guess like it's art, and some art makes people feel sad or mad or happy or romantic.
I also think that a lot of us can relate to it. So it's almost like, she gets it. Like I'm not alone in this feeling, you know?
Which
it's something
is so
we're all
funny
gonna have.
because it was so personal to me.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was like so specific to my situation.
We all go through it, you know, with aging parents, especially when you're as close with them as we are. You and I are both blessed to be so close with our parents.
Definitely. Dysfunctionally close. Like, I just spoke with them probably, I don't think I go like 2 hours without talking to my parents, and I'm
so
like a grown up.
I'm the same way. It's really a gift.
Did you get to hang with them at the wedding?
I did,
Okay,
actually.
good. How,
I absolutely
was it fun?
did. It was a blast.
Were they lit?
They were totally lit. Everyone was lit at that wedding.
Yeah. Which is crazy because I think they were like really stingy on the pours. That's what I heard. That was my feedback.
Maybe they just weren't making friends. I mean,
maybe it was all alcoholics.
All right, I'm actually going to take this opportunity to share something that I brought. That this is, I want everyone to understand how cool JAX and Brave's wedding was, okay? This was the table card, okay? Shout out Table 24. It was like a Vans Warped Tour all access. It was so cool. It was all like emo attire. We were in all black. There was live bands the whole time. We were moshing. Awesome. Everyone was rocking out. It was so fun. It was dripping sweat.
Yeah, same.
But there was a merch moment. And everyone was like sprinting. I got the best Elder Emo hoodie, which I wear all the time. So Elder Emo. I'm very Elder Emo.
Shout out to Jack Vanek.
Yeah.
She's an OG.
Yes.
Like, you remember your Jack Vanek bracelets?
Of course.
And we're like super fans of the Maine. Like, my husband's like a diehard. He'll just like belt in the car. And like, I just hit up Jack last second, a few days before the wedding. I was like, I want to buy out like whatever warehouse it is. And I think everybody, and we literally wear those
I wear them like every day to pick up my kids from school. Everyone's like Elder Emo, but I'm so proud. It's like a badge of honor.
Which one do you have? The pink or?
No, I have the black with the white lettering.
Oh, white
lettering.
Yes. The Elder Emo
or whatever. Like huge block letters.
The crew neck.
It's hardcore. I love it.
Someone was wearing a shirt the other day, and I was like, "Wow, that's sick. Where'd you get it?" And they were like, "Your wedding."
Your wedding.
I was like, "What? I didn't get it."
But I also need to paint the picture because when we were talking about, you know, when you were on last time and we did, you know, Like My Father, and I actually want to give some stats about this song, by the way. I have them written down.
What?
Like My Father has amassed over 286 million streams and was crowned amongst the best father-daughter dance songs of all time by The Knot.
What?
And I had the privilege of watching you, because when you came on last time, you actually shared with me that you were engaged, and I was like, you obviously have to dance with your father. So to watch you guys, I had the great privilege of watching you and your father. Yeah. But then Sia comes out.
Dude, crazy.
I mean, that was next level. That was next level. You actually had to separate from your father mid-dance.
Yep.
Give Sia a hug.
That was all my husband.
Is that brave? That was you brave?
Yeah.
That was amazing.
We had a bit of a clusterfuck wedding planner situation, and then and one of the things that happened was that amidst that moment, he wanted to get flowers for Sia because he reached out to her, I think the night before the wedding or something, or 2 nights before the wedding. On my phone, he did not have her number in his phone. So he had my phone, he took her number and was like, long shot. Like, she like literally just flew in and flew out. Just the sweetest ever. And oh my gosh, I babbled too. I even said like American. I said, I know she's Australian. I like just said also I'm just drunk at this point.
We were all schnockered. We all were.
I'm like, everybody's handing me freaking mimosas all day. He goes to give, the wedding planner gives him not a bouquet of flowers, but a glass vase of flowers, right?
Okay.
And as it's being passed to him, the vase falls and breaks and slices his hand open.
Oh my, I did not know this part.
He's holding the wound from the blood gushing out of his hand. If you look back at the videos of him dancing with his mom, his mom is holding the wound so he doesn't bleed out.
Wait, I actually do remember this now. I feel like there was a napkin wrapped around his
everybody's like, what's going on with his hand?
I do recall this now.
Weird. Yeah. And that scarred, and that was crazy. And that was, so as Sia and me is singing and my dad is up there and I'm hysterical and everyone's like, oh my God, he's just bleeding out. That's my husband.
Oh my God.
That's a husband.
It was a rock and roll wedding. It was a rock and roll wedding.
That's why I married him. So it's the most emo it gets, really.
It is actually
it's
the most emo it gets.
It's the most cut my wrist and black my eyes. So.
Since you and Brave have been married, I know it's been a whirlwind year. How would you say your relationship has evolved?
He's over there. So, hey baby. I love you, baby.
Oh, so sweet, so sweet.
He's my rock, and he has a far bigger heart than I do, and he's on the road with me and been on the ground with me and been the man behind the camera from the day we met on set, like on a video shoot. So we've been like a team for so long, and I think the only real difference after marriage was, we're in a little bit of isolation right now, so we're like kind of in family brain, which is a first, and we're trying to make a baby. So,
I have chills.
So yeah, just a lot freakier than before, and
it's amazing.
Just when you think it couldn't get kinkier.
Oh my God!
Now I can say that with my mother-in-law watching because
so
I'm
beautiful.
Married.
Oh, Jax, this is the best
sweating.
News.
We'll see.
Best news.
We shall see.
I'm
who
here
knows?
for you. I'm here for you.
This might be like, you never know. I'll come to you.
I have good maternal vibes, good maternal energy. Yes.
He said that. He said I had pheromones the other day, whatever that meant. I thought I was just stinky.
What, you're smelling?
I was stinky.
It's a musk. It's a musk.
I thought I was like, that's pheromones? Well,
this is very symbolic because our little Dylan turns 2 today. So this is all like good energy happening. And Dylan was the one that today he's 2. He turns 2.
What are you doing here?
Oh, he's at school. We're going to do a little birthday thing when we pick him up. But
is there a theme?
Dinosaurs. All the dinosaurs.
I love a good dinosaur.
It's 2 Rex.
2 Rex. Oh my gosh. Is he into like Jurassic Park and stuff?
He loves anything with dinosaurs, like anything. Yeah.
I used to be my brother and I. Remember that dinosaur movie that had like the paw and the water would fill up?
Oh,
was that just dinosaurs?
Or was it The Last Dinosaur or the lost dinosaur. I've seen like every iteration of a dinosaur.
Should we get a little?
The Land Before Time.
Oh, The Land Before Time.
Thank you. That was it. Land Before Time. Thank you.
Was so
that
good.
was it.
That was so emotional.
So good. I know. Wait, I'm sorry. Now I'm like in a whole other stratosphere with you.
Yeah.
I want you to know that I'm here for you for this whole journey.
Thank you.
So exciting. It's very emotional, but I'm here for you.
We'll talk after.
Yeah.
I could use a friend sometimes.
Okay.
Where like, you know.
Yeah.
They tell you your whole life. They're like, it's so easy to get pregnant.
Not necessarily
like,
true.
Watch out, you'll get
I think that's just in high school. That's in high school because
and
you're
I'm
trying to scare
like,
you.
oh, really? That's crazy.
It's a whole thing. But I'm here for you. Seriously, this is the best news. So exciting.
Look, I've always wanted to be a mom. It's also crazy because since Victoria's Secret and really just TikTok in general, like I've had this. People are always like, oh, young girls, right?
Yeah.
And then you think about, there aren't young girls that come to these shows or watch the videos or listen to the music without their moms.
Yeah.
So I have this like whole community of mothers that have been so wise. I'm always like talking to moms that I don't know on TikTok and on Instagram. Like they're always sharing the most wild stories that I could have never imagined being in their shoes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. There's so much wisdom online coming from these kids' moms. And they're all like so cool on TikTok and stuff.
Oh, it's beautiful.
There's we love mom talk. So
I love it. And we love dad jokes.
I love dad jokes, mom talk.
Dad
I love dad talk too. The dads of TikTok are fun.
Same.
Yeah.
I do. Actually, this kind of brings me a little bit to I Choose Violence. I kind of want to go back to the album for a second.
Yeah.
Just because this song is so important, and unfortunately, I personally relate to it.
Yeah.
And so many women and young girls, and it's so upsetting. Why was this song so important for you? I'm sure it was catharsis, but also just for awareness. It's important to talk about it. What are you able to share? What inspired this song?
It took me a really long time to write that, and to this day, I'm still processing it because in my head, in my heart, that was my first love, right?
Oh,
and now that I know what real love, friends, that kind of friendship and like
partnership,
that what that really means. You know, I think about no matter how smart and cool I thought I was at 19 or 18 or 17, like I was still a young kid, and to be with somebody 30 years old, even if there was some sort of minor thing in there, it's sorry, I get glitchy talking about it.
No, I
but
totally understand.
It took me so long to put into words. And I think a new thing kicked in this year because of what we had experienced in Hollywood and what we'd experienced, just me kind of feeling protective over Chelsea a little bit and, you know, my future kids and like what it's going to be a mom. It's just, there are just people out there that are really, really smart when it comes to grooming. And that will just kind of convince you to the day you die that you weren't groomed in a way. Like it's hard to retire your first love and think like that wasn't a real first love, you know? And it was really hard for me to write, but I also like thought it was an important thing to say in the event there was anyone else like me that was experiencing the same emotional whirlwind for many, many years, trying to unpack it all. And my therapist had told me, like, I love to just throw humor into the mix and a joke into the mix and just like get the awkward, serious conversations away. Like I just I mask my trauma and my pain and my discomfort with jokes, always jokes. Even like traumatic discussions in songs on the internet, they're kind of joking like all the time.
Yeah.
And she's like, you have to try to do something. You have to try to rip a Band-Aid and do something uncomfortable and just go past your comfort zone and just write something that's not funny at all. Even like My Father, it's a serious song, but there's jokes in it, you know? Victoria's Secret, it's serious, but there's jokes, right?
Right.
And I was like, I'm gonna really attempt this. And I was just so uncomfortable, like clenching, jaw clenched. And I remember I called my husband in, I was like, I want to show you this, but I don't know how you're going to feel about even hearing this, because it's like, you know, he knows about my past. And he was just like, I'm just so proud that you did it, and you need to put it out. And I'm like, I can't put that out. Hell no, like no shot, because then I'd be sitting here on the Allison Hagendorf show talking about it and things I can't even really comfortably talk about with my own parents and my own dad, you know, especially my own brother. So I think I'm just happy that people saw it and connected with it. And I have one job, I guess, as an artist and as a creative, and that's to talk about my experience and hope that it helps another person. And that was my tangent of many words.
No, I chilled. I'm really glad. I'm a grown woman who it made me tear up from experiences I've had.
I'm sorry.
So
I have no
I'm like tearing up now. But
no,
like,
don't cry because I'm gonna cry.
No, I'm like, so like I actually, it was like
I'll tell a joke.
No, don't tell a joke. Don't stay here. Stay here.
I'm here.
But like hearing it, I teared up from it. I had chills the whole time. And it's so interesting. I'm a grown woman. I'm a mother, and it really brought me back. You know, it made me regress, but feel so proud of where I am now. But it made me proud that you also shared that, so that young girls and women of all ages, or whoever has been victimized, can hear this and feel that they're not alone. And it's important to share and to help others so that it won't happen to them.
Yeah.
And to feel like you are strong by yourself. You don't need this toxic relationship or love or attention or unsolicited.
I think when it comes to like what I've learned, at least recently, when it comes to matters of like emotional grooming, right? It's not in your face, and it's not something you talk about because you're riddled with guilt for a really long time, because you feel like if you talk about it, you've been groomed to not, in a sense where it's like in just micro, tiny little subtle ways, you're kind of groomed to think like, oh no, this was my fault, right? I totally agreed to this, you know, I was not only did I agree, I chased it.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted it. I actually went crazy trying to have it, you know, because I'm this young little girl in a very, very adult relationship. I was my worst self, like a psycho person, obsessive, right? And it's like you feel guilt for that obsession, even though you're just not emotionally, physically, sexually prepared for any of it.
Right.
And I realized that there were a lot of women that just didn't want to talk about it because of those feelings.
Yeah.
And so when I dropped a little snippet, people took it and told their own stories about, and they were like, I'm realizing now it's okay to just talk about this. And it feels good to talk about it. It's uncomfortable, but it feels good.
Yeah.
And I've actually had some moments in the comments of this cool community of people where like somebody will comment and be like, hey, I'm actually in something similar right now. I'm starting to question it. Does anyone have any advice? And then all of a sudden, this like community of people are like, I have advice. Oh my gosh.
Like red flags to look out for. Yes.
Literally. And I was like, oh my gosh, wait, we're all like, this is group therapy right now. This is awesome. Like,
it's so good. It's so powerful.
Cool. Yeah.
When I listen to your music, it makes me think of when I was that age. I had Alanis Morissette. I had Fiona Apple. I was a teen in the 90s, so I was very blessed with like, I think the 90s were a renaissance for every music. Yeah. But it was really women empowerment and like women singing things that like women hadn't sung about before. And when I listen to your album, it makes me feel that same way.
Thank
it
you.
Does, because you talk about darkness, you talk about awareness, and it's very liberating and it's very unifying.
Thank you.
So keep doing you. Seriously.
When I heard like even just Hand in My Pocket or when I heard You Ought to Know, like that to me was like, oh wait, we can do this.
Yes, that's how I felt.
Because I want to do this. Like I want to rage and I want to just spill it on a song on a piece of paper. I want to write to someone. You know, like in a song. And then even Taylor Swift does the same thing. It's really cool. Like it's a really cool way of communicating and getting your feelings out. I mean, he knows who he is. We'll just call him Joe.
Yeah. Got it. Got it. I love that. I hope you feel so proud in this album.
I'm stressed, but I'm proud and I'm relieved. I'm like, I love that everybody had a different take, like on a different song. And because that's really every day my brain went to a different place. And it was absolute pure chaos and trauma and love. And I feel like a weight just like came off of my shoulders. So, and my poor husband had to just like totally take a beating during all of it. And I was just all over the place, bouncing off the walls, like,
you know
crying,
what, though?
laughing.
I feel like, honestly though, that everything we've both been through, it brought us to our amazing husbands.
Right.
Brave and Brian.
Brave, Brian, and then there's just Justin in the throuple of it
all. Justin, it's here.
We have Justin. Justin's my manager.
But we also chose men that were partners, that were with us.
And we
together.
Felt that like, from the day we met, I think.
Exactly. And I feel like we have that in common. It's like they are our partners in life. you know?
And I hope that Brave and Brian will hit the gym together and get super duper buff together. And
you guys should come over to our gym.
I'm ready to do the like, like
let's
things
do it.
you guys do. It's not like, I'm just like right now I'm on my honeymoon phase of life.
I love it.
I'm just like,
we're here for you.
I
although I think you look great.
He actually goes, wait, my favorite quote of last week was, I was like having a meltdown, as one does, like once a week.
Yeah.
The rest of the week was fine. And I was like, I want to eat like shit today. And he knows the drill. It's like, I'm either getting like gas station sushi, like crappy.
Oh, that's brave.
It's brave.
That is brave.
Everything's brave.
Yeah.
So I'm either getting like a California roll from like I don't know.
Unimart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just like full send on mac and cheese. And he goes like, babe, I bought like the family style, but like, is that too much? And I was like,
oh, brave, tread lightly.
I literally go, no, it's not. I go, it's not too much, and don't ask me any more stupid questions. Like,
brave in the doghouse.
He was like, copy that.
Yeah, okay, copy. Never question if it's too much. Yeah. Oh my God.
It's never too much. I ate the whole thing.
Of course, yeah.
Still recovering.
What role does Brave really involved, like in every part of every aspect of the work, the videos, everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing.
He is, no matter, even if we have tried actually to not do that. We're like, there's no way this is like healthy. Like you can't be my content creator, tour manager, regular manager, producer, husband, therapist, security guard, photographer, videographer, all of it. Like, and then here we are. Yeah. It's just constant. Like we just can't not work together.
I think that's the gift.
You guys,
it's very unique. I was like, Brian, do you feel seen? Do you feel seen? Yeah. It's beautiful.
Brian and both of them in the background.
Yeah, they're both in the booth. I love it. Brian and Brave in the booth. Brian and Brave in the booth.
Brian and Brave in the booth.
Yeah.
Guys, you guys should do a shit talking podcast on both of us. You need to find some way to get your anger out.
So where you are right now, you're at an incredible, like a crossroads, I would say, in your life, because you've been working really your whole life to this moment. Your debut album, it's such an extensive body of work, and now it's out. And you're in a great place. You're in a great place. You're thinking of family, you know. Do you feel, in this moment, do you feel successful?
Yeah, oh my gosh. I swear, I'm guilty for not having felt successful many, many years ago because I had everything I needed right in front of me. But then when I received everything I prayed for and I found like my joy and my highs in different things than I thought. Yeah. You know, like the one-on-one intimate moments with somebody who had recovered from an eating disorder, or like just a moment with a dad and his little girl on his shoulders crying, and he's crying to like my father. Those are just like when I think about if I were to like my life were to flash before my eyes right now, it'd be those. It would never be a stadium, like when you pictured the screaming and the lights and the million followers and the likes and the views and all that. We're beyond grateful, but I feel it in different ways than I ever thought I would. And everything from those little moments forward was just like icing on the cake. Everything's been a cherry. Like we're so over the moon grateful. Oh. Like you have no idea. And my parents are just so hype. Yeah. Like it's crazy.
It's beautiful.
But yeah, every few days you just want to kind of go off the grid.
Yes, you have to.
I think that's our goal. Like our goal is to, you know, come here for work and then eventually just like live on some sort of ranch or something.
I get
that.
You
ever see the movie Captain Fantastic?
Yes.
That's kind of what we want. We want
totally
Noam Chomsky Day.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Okay, cool. You're invited to the
Thank
bunker.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When all hell breaks loose.
So what would be like, so you've already accomplished so much, like what would be like the dream scenario? Or are you already in it? Or are you getting there?
It's the hardest question in the world.
Yeah.
We talk about it. We talked about it this morning. We talked about it last night.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't prepared for my goals to change. I'd always been growing up so dead set, no plan B. This is what I want to be.
Yeah. All or nothing.
Like, and my parents were so supportive that it was like we had this thing mapped out. And then I started checking these things and realizing that there's so much deeper meaning to all of it. I think right now it seems, and maybe I'm wrong, that as I grow in my career and the people around me in the same boat, new media is like evolving as well. And the way we intake information is evolving as well. And like whatever we once considered commercial media has turned into something different. Attention spans are changing.
Yeah.
The way people consume is totally changing. So I don't really have an answer.
Yeah.
I think all I have to do is just keep writing, and that's pretty much it. Stay creative.
And
start
focus
a family,
on, I was going to say,
stay mentally healthy.
I was going to say, stay healthy and the family.
What about you?
I think it's just building, you know, I love that I'm building this. You know, I've been working towards this for over 20 years, and I've worked for companies and I've held amazing positions, but really having my own show and booking my own guests who I can't wait to have a conversation with. And this feels like an accomplishment to me. I just want to build more. I want to reach more. And I couldn't do this without Brian. So I feel like we have a very similar thing, and I think that's the greatest gift. We have our health, we have our boys. I mean, I feel like this is it. Like these are the good old days. You know what I mean?
Baby, like I'm like, this is, you have it. You have everything, and it's so cool. Like it must be crazy having people come in that saw the last studio, and like, for you, you're probably used to it at this point. You're just looking around. You're like,
no,
this
it never
is my
gets
office.
lost on me.
This is crazy.
Even this morning to Brian, I'm like, we love coming here. It feels good. Like, doesn't it feel good in here? It
feels so warm in here. Everybody's so inviting. Even everyone out there is like so chill.
You know what it is? I have to say this show is a real love fest. It's a family. It's a community. Like everyone here is here because they want to be part of it. I'm so grateful for that. Ariel and Nikki and everyone here. Nikki, Jake and Danny Wimmer. Everyone is just so amazing. It's really it's a love fest. It's a community.
This is the perfect work environment. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with the pillows, all of it. The egg shaker, the primal fear.
I should have brought it today.
The cloud water, especially.
It's amazing.
Did not
my God,
blink.
JAX, I'm so happy for you. I'm brave. I really am. I'm so, because you know all the work you've put on your whole life, and then you had this like insane whirlwind. And I know that with that ascent comes darkness and comes confusion. And you had to deal with that. And I feel like now you're like are in a great place.
I'm trying to manage my mental health a lot. Like and not get super overwhelmed by anything around me, and just take everything one foot in front of the other. Like typically in the beginning of all this, I was so compulsive. Like my OCD was out of control. Like I would be up, we probably had 4 to 5 collaborators coming through a 700 square foot apartment a day, just to make sure we were like hitting marks that we just made up in our heads. We realized that people aren't waiting for me and or you or really anyone. We could just do what we're capable of doing.
And what makes you feel good.
There's no pressure to just deliver to everyone at all the time at once. So it's all good. We're in a good place. Mercury's been in Gatorade for a long time, so
it's great for all of us.
Yeah, we're doing great, right, guys?
We're doing
back
great. There. Well, JAX, thank you so much for coming back. Brave and Brian, we're coming to you right now.
Brave and Brian, coming to you.
And thank you, everyone. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
I just adore JAX. Any opportunity to hang out with her is just, she's such a delight. She's hilarious, she's witty, she's bright, she's refreshing, and she's such a true talent. I love this debut album, and I hope you love it as much as I do. Thank you so much for being part of the Allison Hagendorf Show, presented by Cloudwater. A huge thank you to our other partners as well, Danny Wimmer Presents and Karma Sauce. Thank you to our friends at Arctic Zone, and most importantly, thank you. I would love to hear from you, so please like, comment, rate, review, whatever you're feeling, and please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a thing. Reach out to me on socials at Allie Hagendorf. I would love to connect with you. Let me know who I should interview next and what made you smile today. Thanks again. I'll see you next time, and remember, you're a rock star.